Hi, we're out here at Fire Station 2, and I'm here with Fire Marshal Bob. It's one of my favorite times of the year, summer, but that can mean a lot of things, especially for our emergency responders. So I wanted to come out here and chat with Bob a little bit about what that means for fire and what recommendations and advice they have for all of you. Bob, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you, James. How are you?
You know, even better now that I get to hang out with you. So it's summer, and I know that's going to mean a lot of seasonal things that are unique for you here at the fire department. What are some of the calls or the concerns that you and the fire department have when the summer season hits?
Well, naturally, our calls increase during the summer season, and it's mostly related to the season. We have more bicycles out, we have more pedestrians out, more motorcycles out, all lead to an increase in accidents with those type of vehicles. So we encourage everybody that are using those type of vehicles, bicycles and motorcycles, that they wear helmets all the time when they're out there riding those, just to protect themselves a little better. And we encourage our drivers to watch out for those vehicles. They're smaller, lighter, they can maneuver quicker, and they can come out of nowhere and surprise you. Definitely we have the heat to contend with, so we encourage everybody to stay hydrated. Make sure you have plenty of water when you're going out. If you're going out to visit the high country, make sure someone knows where you're going and when you'll be back, so if you don't return on schedule, they can start making some phone calls, find out where you're at, make sure nothing happened to you while you were out on that adventure. Certainly it's a time to get into the water and enjoy the water sports around the area, but with that comes certain hazards too, with high flows from the runoff and the rivers running high, and they can be deceptively fast, and it can be totally uninspected when you get in the water and suddenly you're moving quicker than you expected. If you're out on the water, make sure you're using a personal flotation device when you're on a boat, so if something does happen, you have that protection as well. And naturally, with the hot, dry weather we've been seeing around Colorado lately, there's always an increased fire risk. Even in the urban areas with the irrigation and stuff, things dry out very quickly with the wind, and a small fire could very quickly move to a bigger fire and cause damage to a lot of property and endanger lives. So we encourage, if you do have a fire and something gets away from you and you think you can put it out, certainly try to do so, but also call 911 so that we can come out and check and make sure that it's been properly contained.
So I know wildfires, forest fires, those are a big thing. They're top of mind for me. I've lived out here for a few years and been close to a couple of them, and I think we've even had some smoke in the air recently. And I know that there's a lot of things I like doing in the summer, barbecues, camping, that can kind of involve fire. Do you have any tips, any safety recommendations for how to enjoy some of those classic summer activities, but safely?
I think the biggest thing would be to watch the weather. So if you're expecting high winds, and know in Colorado that afternoons usually bring winds for us. Just keep an eye on the weather, make sure the high winds, if it's a red flag day, open burning is discouraged. That doesn't mean you can't use your barbecue, but of course if you're using recreational fires and things of that nature, you want to avoid that until those red flag days passed. Today I know Denver is under a heat index warning, first time in 14 years that they've had that. So just keep an eye on the weather, have a responsible adult nearby. If you have a fire of that nature, make sure you have a means of extinguishing it if it gets out of hand, and then if it does get out of hand, make sure you call 911 so we can come take care of that. For people in multifamily dwellings, there's some restrictions on what they can use for barbecues on their balconies, basically it's the very small barbecue with a 1-pound propane cylinder like you'd find in the camping section, but the larger charcoal fired or gas fired with the 20-pound cylinders are not allowed on balconies in the city on multifamily. And then if you're interested in the recreational fire regulations for fire pits in the backyard, you can go to our website and there's information on that page.
So you mentioned one thing I want to kind of bring up, because I know it's a bit of a running thing, but everyone always talks about how great Colorado is, and so we get a lot of people either coming out to visit or moving here. And I think that if you've come from a place that's has a bit of a different climate, maybe you haven't heard what a red flag day is before. What's a red flag day?
So a red flag day is issued when conditions are extreme. So we have low humidity, hot weather, conditions are ripe for, if a fire were to start, that it could spread rapidly and get out of control very quickly. And we've seen that several times through the past years with some of the high mountain fires, that they move quickly when they get into that dry brush. So a red flag day It's just a warning to us that conditions are right, that those fires could spread rapidly, and to just be careful with fire and not ignite any fires during those times.
Well, it's all really good information. Thank you so much for your time today, Bob. I really appreciate it. I know the whole community does as well. So we talked a little bit about some information and some of those regulations. You can find all of those and more online at greeleygov.com/fire. Thank you so much. Have a great summer. Enjoy the heat and stay safe.